Thank you, distinguished member of the Foreign Affairs Committee. Thank you for your assessments, and I will try to make full answer to your questions. I will separate three groups of the questions connected, first of all, with the interior processes in Armenia. As I said, I think that, and I'm sure that democracy is irreversible in Armenia, but now we need to make stronger democracy and make it stronger institutionally. And of course, it is very important to continue electoral system reforms, and we will do that. And for this goal, it is very important to make cooperation with the European Union more and more effective and efficient. And I'm glad that we see the readiness by the European Union to support Armenia in the post-reform agenda. And I would like to stress frankly and directly that we are going to fully implement the SEPA, because I think it fully matches with our current agenda, interior agenda, and with our aspirations. As far as anti-corruption activities are concerned, I should say that it is very important for us because we need to make real rule of law in our country, and it isn't possible without fighting corruption. And yes, now we have several very famous criminal cases against the former high officials, and these cases will be continued, and the courts will decide what to do. It's up to our courts to decide the destiny of these cases. But you know, it is very important to state that making our judicial system really independent, it is very important. You know, from very beginning, our government, and personally me, I refused to continue apparent practice of making decisions, court decisions in the government and conveying it to the courts. But now, to be honest, I'm not fully sure on the independence of the courts, Armenian courts, because I'm not sure that the previous government on, let's say, oligarchy didn't keep the tools and leverages to influence on the court. But it doesn't mean that we are going to interfere into court's affair. It means that we are determined to have real reforms to make our judiciary system really free and independent. And there was a question about the stolen assets recovery, and it is very important for us. And of course, we count on European Union support on this matter, and we hope that we will be able to create some real efficient cooperation with the European Union. And what is important, there was a proposal by the OSCE to support Armenian government in stolen assets recovery, and we are going to fully cooperate with our European partners. About Nagorno-Karabakh conflict, you know, it's very important to state that there is no any military solution for this conflict, and we need to create proper atmosphere for peaceful solution. and from very beginning our government is working on that, and we made, it is very important to work on creating proper atmosphere. And in September, I've made actually unprecedented statement in our parliament saying that any solution of Nagorno-Karabakh conflict should be acceptable for Armenian people, for people of Nagorno-Karabakh, and for Azerbaijani people. And to be honest, it was unprecedented announcement by the Armenian Prime Minister, and at least for last 20 and more years. And I had a hope that after my announcement, we will have the similar announcement from Azerbaijan, by the Azerbaijani president, but unfortunately this hope isn't fulfilled yet, and in contrary we are hearing continuous threats from Azerbaijan that they are going to solve Nagorno-Karabakh conflict by using force and without consideration of the rights and interests of Nagorno-Karabakh people and people of Armenia. And I can say that in this situation, it's very hard to imagine that we will be able to solve this conflict very soon. For solution, we need to bring Azerbaijan into dialogue mood, but unfortunately we can't say that we have such a situation now. And what is very important, it's about the format of negotiation process. It is internationally recognized that Nagorno-Karabakh conflict has three sides: Azerbaijan, Nagorno-Karabakh, and Armenia, and it was internationally recognized in 1994 OSCE summit in Budapest. But in fact, we have only, not now, but until now, we had only two parts around the negotiation table, and unfortunately, Armenia and Azerbaijan made negotiations without Nagorno-Karabakh. But problem is that previous leaders of the Armenia, they were from, they are deriving from Nagorno-Karabakh, and maybe they considered that they can represent Nagorno-Karabakh as well. But I'm not from Nagorno-Karabakh, and I'm Prime Minister of Armenia, and I'm not Prime Minister of Nagorno-Karabakh, because people of Nagorno-Karabakh, they aren't participating in Armenian elections, they aren't citizens of Armenia. So I can, I would do that, will do that. I can negotiate on behalf of Armenia, Republic of Armenia, but I can't negotiate on behalf of Nagorno-Karabakh. So the second step is to create proper format of negotiation that will bring us to the substantial negotiations. And I would like to insist that it isn't possible without engagement of Nagorno-Karabakh into negotiation process. And as far as Russia is concerned, the good news is that European Union doesn't pose any geopolitical conditions in the relations with Armenia, because our cooperation agenda with the European Union, it is fully it is fully reform agenda, which is described in the CEPA, and we are going to implement fully this reform agenda. And of course, Russia, our relations with Russia are very important for us, and we're continuing to be strategic partners. And our cooperation, the most part of our cooperation, is connected with the Eurasian Economic Union and the security agenda. And I don't think that there are contradictions on our relationship agenda with the European Union and Russia. And in these two relations, we are transparent, and it is very important to insist that there is no any plot against Russia in our relations with the European Union, and there is no any plot against, for example, the European Union in the cooperation and relation with Russia. Of course, cooperation in the field of energy is very important, and we are going to develop our relations with Russia, but with Iran as well, because you know that we have cooperation in energy with Iran as well, and we are going to further develop our relations. And recently I've made a visit to the Iran, and we were discussing the opportunities on further development of our cooperation in the field of energy. Which concerns to the concrete steps, you know, our ideology is the same concerning to the political changes and economic changes. What was the main ideology of our political changes? It was encouraging people to make concrete steps in deciding their own future. And in terms of economic changes and economic revolutions, we are going to encourage our people to make economic activities. Why this is important? Because before the revolution, we had monopolies and oligarchies that restricted the opportunities for economic activities, and now we opened the field. And now we are going to make level playing field, which is very important. We are going to reform our tax code and to support our small and medium businesses, and we are going to create a new niche in our economy named microeconomy, and we are going to free these people from taxes, and we are going to make regulatory simplifications to make our investment climate more and more attractive for foreign investments, and which is very important. We are going to make to develop our infrastructure, etc. My time is ending, and for all this agenda, of course, it's very important to have support, technical and financial support by the European Union, and advisory support, why not, and to make our democracy stronger institutionally, economically and politically. But for me, there is no doubt that democracy and rule of law in Armenia irreversible. There is no there is no chance for comeback for corrupt system. Thank you very much.